are back here in Kiel for the Laser 4.7 Junior Worlds. A warm welcome at home and also a warm welcome to our expert Dirk Ramos. Thank you very much for joining. And to Kevin Bonvie. So we had a fantastic first race. This was all over the qualification race number 6. We have a first place leader right now. It's Elia Vitali from Italy, followed by a Bulgarian guy, Lubian Ilyanov Tenekediev, and the dominator Dimitrios Papadimitriou from Greece. Those were the first 3, and we had a lot of shifts out there, and Dirk is going to tell us what happened out there right now.
Yeah, and we saw this in the break, the last almost half an hour. The wind shift appeared, like forecasted, about 40 degrees changed from 220 up to 60. And that means for the race committee, they have to lay out the new race course fully. All the marks have to be, let's say, put the anchor from the ground, etc., and find a new position. And this takes a while.
Absolutely.
And this was the reason for the postponement. But now we are confident that in the next 3 minutes we're going to see the next start. And I propose that we go onto the water to see what is happening there.
Absolutely. So, Kevin, there was only 30 seconds to the start. We just right in here with the pictures. So, just talk us through that situation right now.
What I see right now is the 30 seconds. I think we're going to have a general again. There are already boats over the line. Lots of guys are pushing, and it's understandable. They have been waiting for half an hour now. They only want to sail.
Okay.
So they have a lot of they're putting pressure on the start, and of course they push the guys over. And it's general on black flag again.
No, it was not black flag.
No? Oh, okay.
The general recall was there. Yeah. Oh, capsize. Can that happen that you capsize with the laser? We see that it can happen.
Yeah, it's when it's windy, it can become really unstable.
Okay.
Of course, you don't want it to happen in the race.
So how does the guy get that thing up again?
So you take the dagger board basically and you pull it straight, and you put as much weight as possible to lift the mast out of the water again. It's pretty easy to see mast goes out of the water, and
that's what you say. It's pretty easy. Probably not for me, but it's still up.
Yeah, it's
good job there.
One of the boat that gets up fairly quickly. Good. So I mean, I already saw a guy who was in first position, capsized, took it boat back up, and he was still first.
Yeah, okay. But again, a general recall, is that very often in this class or with a junior?
In the junior, yes. 4.7, they are really aggressive on the line, too aggressive, getting really close to the line. And when you're close to the line and aggressive, well, you're over most of the time.
Yeah.
When you go in all the classes, like the one of next week, they know how important it is to not get a black flag. So they pay much more attention to the line, and also the youth sailor, how they start, they look the boat on the right and the boat on the left. If the boat on the right is over, big chance they are over too, but they don't realize it. And when you grow older, you understand that you have to look where the line is and not where the boats are.
Okay. Yeah, we just hear that there were 4 boats over the line, probably 4 boats, so that's not that much. As the last one, we had 7 boats over the line. So, Dirk, a lot to do for the guys on the comedy board, for your colleagues out there.
Yes, I mean, it's a big fleet. As mentioned in the previous commentary, during the first race, we have 280 boats split in 4 groups for the boys and 2 groups for the girls, summarizing up to 380 total. And this is a very big fleet. And as I also mentioned previously, and Kevin just explained it as well, especially in the younger groups, you have less discipline regarding starting procedures. So you see total recalls or black flag starts much more in this kind of, let's say, age compared to the more senior, more trained, more mature sailors. Let's call them the Olympic sailors.
Yeah. You just mentioned them, when you're young, you're a youngster, you have all those regattas. It's a special moment here, a special event for those people to sail a Junior World Championship. You just mentioned it, Dirk. How do those people look up to people like Philipp Buhl, like, for example, a Germany who will be in Rio?
Yeah. I mean, the lasers fleet in Rio will be one of the biggest one ever. 38 participants, which shows also the importance of the laser class as such for the Olympic sports. And I think many of those sailors that we currently have here on the water are really looking to their idols. So saying that there's one participant per country, 38, so we have 52. That means almost every country that is present here has one representative in this top final in the Olympics, and therefore it's an ideal career path from 4.7 radial standard towards the Olympic.
Yeah, Germany is represented by Philipp Buhl and also the old man. We won't be any disrespectful, but Robert Scheid is also going to be participating. So, how would you rate the chances for Philipp Buhl? If we still got time to talk about that.
I mean, he is always telling about there are potentially 9 out of the 38 in the chance of winning it. He's one of them. Therefore, I think. He's very focused on this event. We saw him here in the Kieler Woche. He's an idle kind of sportsman. So he's very focused on this event. And if the circumstances, wind, wave, whatever, rubbish on the water are not working against him, then probably he has a good chance to be one of the top 3 at least.
Yeah, there are many aspects to put into one and to win a gold medal, of course. So, do you have any favorite guy for the Olympic Games, or?
Well, I see the men fleet. Of course, Philipp Buhl is one of the best. But we're talking about our dominator here, Papadimitriou, and in standard there is Tom Burton, an Australian sailor who is really good. I was lucky enough to meet him a few times, and he's not over the rest, but he's always in the front, so I think he will have a big chance. And the fact that Robert Scheid is at home plays also a lot.
Absolutely.
So I think these 2 guys would be at the front. Philipp Buhl also. Also at the women's fleet, there are quite a lot of sailors that can go and claim that first place. Hopefully in women's fleet, the Belgian girl.
Keep our fingers crossed for that. So how do you experience that? You work with young people together, you know, with the coach you just mentioned. How do you young people from the laser class look up to those role models like Robert Scheid or Philipp Buhl? Are they big stars for them, or?
For me, it's hard to say because when I was in 4.7, I got the chance to join the Olympic team of Belgium. So it was not even a star. I mean, I had her phone number, so.
Okay.
But of course, to see these guys, just if you have the chance to go on a World Cup, so it's the big regattas for the Olympic sailor all year long. You see on every class the professionalism, how good athletes they are. It's impressive.
Yeah, it's incredible, and how humble they are. You know, see Robert Scheid, who had so many medals, Philipp Buhl, and you just come over them. Yeah, might have an interview. It's not to compare with football players. So they're so relaxed and so good sportsmen. It's really good to have them and to have them in those role model position.
So currently we still wait for the numbers of the early starters to be published.
Yeah.
So let's see what is happening here.
Yeah.
I mean, it's okay. So we now have the 4
sale numbers.
We can have a look up on who is this.
We just don't have the nationalities here, but
yeah, this I will check just with the entry system here.
Yeah, we just have a look at that. Dirk will look that up for us. Thank you very much. And you know, a lot of boats out there. So how does those guys out there, how do they handle that not everything ends up in a chaos? You know, if you look at that, how many sails are
right now? I have no idea how the committee does it because I have been in this mess and everybody's pushing. You want to see if you're on the board, you're stressed, and so it's as a sailor when you're in that, it's kind of a mess. Most of the time, you just let the first excited guy first. They go away, and you come when it's a bit more calm. There's not really a reason to go in the pack now. I mean, everybody's gonna have the chance to see the numbers. So when I was looking on the GPS, again, our dominator is all the time since there was a general. He's working above the committee, testing, working on the wave, seeing what's changed, probably looking at the wind. Um, I think he's a bit mad to finish third in the race before because he was really close for a few times of the first place, and he want to finish the qualifier with a win.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, he just puts up an excellent performance, Dimitrios Papa. It's a hard name to pronounce, Papa Dimitriou. It's just really nice watching him, how relaxed he is sailing, and he's watching the other guys and putting pressure on them. And as you just said, always close to the starting line and then trying to be first. Good watching him here in Kiel.
Yeah. So we have a sailor from Ireland, a German sailor, and a Portuguese sailor that has been announced as early starter. We are still lacking one additional one, so we got the information that we have 4 of them, but we have only 3 numbers at the moment. We saw also what I mentioned earlier. On the starting vessel, you see the 260, which gives the indication to the sailor what is the wind direction about, so that they can use their compass on the boat in order to find their way to the upwind mark. So I think Kevin waiting on the water, I mean, almost an hour already is not making the sailors happy, right?
No, and it's really important for the sailors. Now the fleet is going to split a bit in 2 groups. The one that stayed focused and the one that lost their focus. And it's if you're able to keep that focus, it's an easy race now. You have already 12 boats that are that cannot start anymore.
Yeah.
A few boats that are just dreaming of something else. And if you are able to pay attention to the wind, you can win a race easily.
Yeah.
So we have less than 5 minutes now to the start, and this camera position is going to show us very good the starting line, which is a virtual line in between the yellow 2 orange flags and the white and red mark on the starting vessel. So let's see.
Yeah. Less than 4 minutes to the start right now. And as you just said, Kevin, it's always very hard to keep the tension. It's even when there's no sailing outside, the sailors sit on the waterfront, and then sometimes the wind comes up and you got to go in. And how do you keep the tension over such a long period?
It's really hard, especially for the young sailors, because when you're on the water, if it's sunny, the sun hits even harder. So you're warm, you're probably hungry, you're thirsty. You try to eat. And the ideal thing is to keep sailing all the time. Just relax. No, if it's windy, don't break your legs. You'll need them for the next race. And then go talk with the coach, what he thinks about the wind, and keep staying in that race mentality that you had for the first race. Because the sailor who will go out of that race mentality will have a harder time they will probably have a bad start because they are not focused. And making a comeback is always harder than being at the front in the beginning.
Yeah. So less than 3 minutes for the next start. What's your prediction for that one? Is it going to be a clear start or again a general, maybe an individual recall? Who knows?
I think the good point with the younger sailors is, of course, they're over in the beginning, but when they see all the numbers coming on the board, they start getting scared. So we might have a banana, as we call it. It's they are really low under the line.
Okay.
And that's also when the sailors who kept focus can win a lot. You can take a good start because everybody's scared and you know where the line is.
Now I even know what a banana is for.
I mean, with this wind direction, the importance of the coastline will become more important because we saw on the pictures before in the other race the trees and the coastline, which is a little bit of a cliff, and there the technical, let's say, selection on the course as such might make a difference.
Okay.
So you, as the sailors in this case, have to carefully read the wind on the water, and this might be something where sailors that have been either trained here the last days, weeks, etc., or have been grown up might have an advantage. But let's see.
So in the afternoon, we got something like 20 knots. Is that all right? The gusts should be around 20 knots.
At the moment, it was also still 14. There was not too much reports. I mean, it was forecasted that we have some gusts, but at least when I talked to the race officers, it looks like stable. So let's see what will happen after this wind shift now.
Okay.
But it was, I mean, we discussed it earlier when we talked about the sunshine coming up, etc. This was exactly the indication of the change that then later also occurred.
Okay, less than 1 minute to the start.
Now
Here
we can see a bit the banana. We see the sailors are in the middle or
perfect,
really far from the line.
But I think the Greek guy is going to be very...
I
Very
think
close to it.
he knows what he does, so he keeps.
Yeah.
The ideal thing is you just stay in the banana
Yeah.
when and you just accelerate earlier than the
Yeah.
rest, and you're in front. And no risk at the start, easy start.
Yeah, so
No,
just
but
16 seconds to go.
I think the side that's closest to us, so the pin end part of the line is favorite.
Yeah. Look at the Dutch guy.
That's-
So just 5 seconds to go and off we go. Acceleration. Oh my God. This doesn't look that good. Or we were over the line. Looked a bit that the Dutch guy was a bit early. What do you think?
But I think if it's only a few bolts early, they can pick them all up. They will be disqualified, but they just send the rest.
But also, again, it looks less aggressive in the
Yeah.
beginning. Banana, we discussed
Yeah.
it, but the last seconds then was very close.
Yeah.
Oh, clear
Okay.
start we hear.
Then it was just the perspective of the camera.
Yeah, that's always a different, as you said before, the ankle is always different to judge that on. But yeah, clear start as we hear.
And I'm happy to see that the Norwegian guy I was talking to you
Yeah.
about earlier seems to have kept his focus. He had a great start.
Yeah, Norway, 111. No.
Israel
40,
is
11,
also
11.
in the front of the fleet, I think.
Yeah, but I would disagree, Kevin, with the fact that there was one area of the line privileged because if you look in the tracking data now, it looks really
Looks-
balanced,
yeah.
very balanced. So, which is a big compliment to the race officer having a very excellent starting line. If you have this kind of balance
It's
start.
nice line.
Yeah, the Norwegian guy is with the front group. He's Norway 11-11.
Yeah, and
Uffe
the Italian,
Tomasgaard.
the Italian is already.
And the Italian guy. And you see up there in place number 26.
I'm
25,
quite surprised to see
The Greek guy.
Dimitrios in the middle of the line.
Yeah.
It's not something that sailors usually like.
No, he
being
changed the course already. He's going.
in the middle of the fleet completely. Maybe he wants to control, and we'll see him at the top mark in the front. That's also possible.
I think that for him it was risk mitigation of being penalized by an early start or something like this.
Yeah.
So So this is the final race of the qualification series, and with the other three groups racing in parallel, we will then at the end of the day will see who's has qualified him or her. In this case, himself, but also in parallel the ladies or the girls herself for the gold medal or gold fleet and silver fleet and bronze, as well as in the boys we will have an emerald one. So we have, because of the size of the fleet, 4 groups for the final.
Yeah, as we already said, we are broadcasting the yellow fleet today. We got a couple of more fleets, yellow, green, red, etc., etc. And this is qualification race number 7. Last race of today, like Dirk just said, and we're going to bring you the finals tomorrow, 11 o'clock on Saturday from the ladies, from the young girls, and on Sunday, 11 o'clock, those guys who we see here, the young guys, the boys. So a lot of sailing going up going on up in the north of Germany here in Kiel. And we are with a leading pack here.
The Swiss
Italy,
guy
6,
is doing a great
2,
job.
3, 7,
To-
and the Switzer guy 075. Yeah, Kevin.
He's putting himself in front of the fleet, and being able to start on the left side of the line and cross the fleet, it's always an advantage. Now he's basically securing himself. If there's a little right shift, he's putting all the fleet under him, and he will be at the front at the top mark, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, have a look at our 3D graphics here. The arrows on the lower right is the wind animation. We're going to have, we had an upwind start and go upwind right now. And impressive pictures there from our on-water cameras. So you were quite happy that the Norwegian guy's up in front, in the front pack. What do you?
I'm actually quite even happier to see the Danish guy. It's the little guy I was talking about earlier today.
Okay.
That we had yesterday, and yeah, I think the Norwegian guy also they are good sailers, and I was more expecting them to be in front than happy about it because I don't know them personally, but he's in a family of good great sailors, so he's catching up with his big brother. It seems that there's also a bit more wind than in the first race. Would bring us the guys that were in front in the last 2 days will probably go in front in this race also.
Yeah.
This race can be quite tricky because of the wind shift. Since the wave built up all morning on a certain wind, and now it's more to the right, they can sometimes have an angle between the wind and the wave, and as sailor that can be quite annoying. But they seem to do all right for the moment. The right side of the pack is crossing back again, so probably the right shift.
Yeah.
I saw the Swiss guy tacking it away when we were talking before, and I wasn't sure of his decision. Now I think it was maybe not the smartest one, since we see the right side is coming back really hard. He's still in a great position, that's for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think I would be him. I would have continued. Now looking on the tracker of that we have in front of us, he's still in a great position.
Yeah, there we got Luigi Contemi from Italy, and in the foreground Uffe Tomasgard from Norway. And right there, you see him go on our 3D graphic. He is in the lead right now, and you see just what we just mentioned. It's really, really hard to see from that different camera angle who is leading this fleet here.
Yeah.
But thanks to our 3D graphics, we got all under control.
The Swiss is taking the lead again. So
Swiss 0075, Nicolas Davies, and Uffe Tomasgard is also up in front.
Yeah. And it's, I mean, these days we take this 3D animation and the tracking almost for granted.
Yeah.
In Kieler Woche we tracked more than 400 boats in different races in parallel. Here we have 64 boats we're tracking, and we not talk about the size of an America's Cup boat here, where size doesn't matter. So we really talk about here in this case the laser, and it's incredible what has happened. I can remember when I started, let's say, being involved in this kind of events. My first email was about tracking. So I came from the technology side into the whole sport, and we had it was very big devices that we attached to sail by this theft control thing that you know from when you buy clothes. And because we had no way to find an ideal position. And if you see how this tracking device, has shrinked into even smaller than the mobile phone, it's incredible. Yeah. And this is very important for the sport because, for example, having tonight the Olympic opening ceremony, the IOC every 4 years is evaluating the attractiveness of their sports. I mean, the IOC is a company, and they work like every other company on their portfolio. And portfolio in this case means revenue streams on media, etc. And sailing coming from the past is very, like we discussed earlier, very difficult to understand from outside. If you only stand on shore, it's difficult to see what is happening on the water. If you see only camera pictures like this now, it's very difficult to judge who's in the lead and what is the distance to another one on maybe another part of the course. So GPS tracking and the technology that we see here live on screen is helping us and the sport as such to raise the attractiveness and to help to explain what is happening here. Yeah?
Absolutely, and it's just an enormously big effort what all people bring here to the table to give out those trackers, bring them back, and then those pictures and 3D animation, really, really great. As we come to the first upwind mark,
I think the coach are not happy seeing this image. You can see the Norwegian guy is able to reach the mark, so basically all the guys on the left went too far and did extra meters.
Yeah.
And there are some of the guys that are really far. So there are the ley lines that we can see on the trackings as the yellow line. Maybe you'll see them later. And you want to stay on these lines because it's the closest that you can go to the wind. And of course, all the guys on the left went further one side and then tacked and had to do extra meters on the other side.
Yeah, but look at Dimitris. I mean, he's in between range of position 10 already. We saw him on 24th, 25th. In the first part of this leg, so therefore he's really picking up as expected.
He didn't make the mistake of all the sailors that we just saw. He did. His arriving to the mark was pretty good because I think 2 minutes ago it was maybe 20, and he did a good comeback. Now we see 7 at the top mark. He shows again that he knows what he does and he does it well.
Absolutely, he sneaked back in there, Dimitros Papadimitriou. Yeah, Uffe Thomasgaard is leading the pack. Before that guy here, before Nicolas Davies by 35 meters. On place number 3 is Christian Sportsberg.
Yeah.
Und hier haben wir ihn nochmal. Here we have him.
And we see also here in the background, we see the second fleet on this race course also preparing for this second start. So it's pretty packed what is happening there on the water.
Yeah. And Kevin, just give us a slight impression. We talked about that downwind, so no, we are on the reach right now.
We are on the reach right now. Again, if Thomasgaard is trying to make that gap, that important gap that you can make on the first reach, this reach looks quite tricky. There's winds of gust, so we can see the Swiss guys all going outside or sitting on the side with a straight upper body, and you have to pay attention not to stop your boat. You want to keep it rolling as fast as possible.
And this is also what you explained earlier, wind direction, wave direction. Mm-hmm. Yeah? So the wave is still from the earlier wind direction, and this is why it's looks quite challenging here.
30 up to 33 meters between Davis in second and Thomasgaard in first. And to keep the boat upright in the most upright position means also to have the maximum speed. Is that right?
Basically in laser, if your boat on except on the downwinds, if your boat is completely flat, it's faster.
Yeah.
Because of the shape of the boat.
That's the Norwegian guy, Uffe.
I mean,
you can see he's looking on the right. He's not looking at the camera, but he's paying attention to the wind that he will have on the downwind that is coming up. Also checking behind him. Okay, I'm making the gap. I'm doing good work.
But you see, having everything under control. Look in his.
He looks a bit stressed. He looks a lot backwards, but it's understandable. You're in front, and he's even making the gap. So I mean, every time he looks backward, he's happy to see that the guys behind are even further.
Yeah.
And we see Kiel Lighthouse here also.
So now preparing, he's arriving to the mark. So he's preparing the settings for the downwinds. There are 3 lines on the radial, 3 important lines. that help you shape the sail. You can
Kicker.
see the kicker that puts the boom up or down.
Yeah.
There's the out hole. It's the rope that stretches the sail at the bottom.
Yeah.
You want it pretty loose on the downwind and tighter on the upwind. And then there's
Third one.
the third one who's pulling the whole sail down. It's next to the mast. And
How's that one called?
the Cunningham.
You did your homework, man.
Well, I know these lines. I use them a lot.
Yeah, very good. So it's that single-handed dinghy is in brackets easy to handle with
Oh,
those.
it's simple. You have
Yeah,
3 lines,
okay.
but you have to work with them all the time.
Yeah. Okay.
Because if you work with them all the time, then you'll be faster. A trim sail is going faster than a sail who's not trimmed. And in laser, I mean, you have no excuse. You have 3 lines. You can be able to. You can reach them with one hand. So it's not like bigger boats. From sometimes they say, okay, there's a wind gust, but we cannot allow ourselves to change the settings.
Yeah. So besides Uffe, the whole fleet is very close together.
Yeah.
So let's see what will happen now on the.
So how difficult is that when with so many people you round the mark?
This mark can be very difficult. There have if you're in the front, there are a lot of people coming on the reach. So basically, when you turn the mark on the left side, there's no wind. But you have to choose a side in the beginning. If you wait in the middle, then all these boats that are on the reach will end up behind you when they turn the mark. And it's quite important decision, especially now that it's gusty. So there are wind in really specific places. You want to be in these places to get more wind than the rest. And it's the experience you took from the first race that tells you that, even though the wind changed. So it's one of the hardest decisions they are taking right now.
Yeah. So.
And here it's also on this course it's very tricky to keep your boat in a stable position because the wave is not coming from the wind direction. Yeah. So usually if the wind is stable, then the wave comes from behind and depends on how strong the wind is. Either you can start a little bit of surfing, but here you see it with the boats. They have really to maneuver around to stabilize the boats because wind is not coming from the same direction like the wave.
Yeah, that's why we see the big angles. They want to try to catch a wave. If you stay same direction all the time, you're less likely to catch it.
Yeah.
So we saw the Swiss guy going a few times. He's doing it again.
Yeah.
He's doing a pump that is allowed. If you steer up, you can make a pump.
One pump per wave.
You basically, because he's changing direction, he's making a roll.
Okay.
And it's allowed to roll the boat to turn it.
But it's this brings us to a good point, which is the rule 42, which is I mean this is very close to it, and the rule as such, for those that are not familiar with this, describes that you're not able to use your body in order to bring your boat forward, and especially in the laser, this is very critical because you do a lot of movement with your body. We explained this also earlier.
Yeah.
And especially in this maneuver that we saw also with the Swiss sailor before, it's close to it, but it's not violating Rule 42. Yeah.
Okay, so when you see those youngsters here, and you compare that to Philippe Boule, when he's on the downwind, he's jibing a lot more,
Or if you see Philippe Boule on the downwind right now, he'll be moving left, right all the time, working the boat on every wave, and because now the young guys, and it's understandable, they take a wave, then they surf it a bit, then they prepare themselves, and then take the second wave. So it's still good work, but the top athletes, they will catch every single wave on that downwind.
Ah, okay. But the young guys know that.
They know that, but it's especially in the 4.7, the sail is quite small compared to the boat.
Yeah.
So it can be really frustrating when you're walking the boat all the way on the downwind and you don't feel like you're going faster. It's faster, but you don't feel
it makes sense, yeah, what you just said, yeah.
But especially on downwind, you're not realizing your speed that much.
Okay.
And this is, let's say, where experience and then, let's say, your own maturity then makes the difference, maybe.
Yeah. Just what we said, when you see Robert Scheid or when you see Philippe Boule on the downwind, they're jibing and moving, And so is that the experience that you get forward faster?
It's basically the hours on the wall, I think.
Yeah.
And the physical fitness, because
Yeah, absolutely.
we're not talking about something that is easy. I
Yeah.
mean, it takes a lot of energy, and probably this is also something that you gain over the time.
Yeah.
But we see Hufe is doing a great job. 58 meters, that's the place you want to be, even extending his lead. So if he doesn't make the mistake that Priot did on the first race, he can go catch the win. But we see our Dominator coming back.
Yeah.
I think he knows maybe the first place is far away, but I have to finish in that top 5, keep my my race up, and do like in France, and he'll win it again.
Yeah, there you see the ley lines on the right and on the left-hand side, and the Leeward Gate. So, Kevin or Dirk, which buoy would you take right now? Which mark would you round on that?
So let's say
Downwind leg.
if we just see if we imagine that the wind is coming straight down, which is
Yeah.
probably not the case. We see the
So you don't trust our graphics or what?
no, I trust because the wind is changing. It's hard to say.
Sure.
And you basically, when you go down, you want to try to see which mark is higher, because even if the committee is doing its best to put it perfectly straight, it's hard to put these two marks perfectly perpendicular to the wind at good distance. So there's most of the time one just a bit higher, or depending on the shift when you arrive at the mark, and you want to take the mark that's higher, because then you're making less distance towards the next mark.
Yeah.
I mean, assuming that we had already the shift from 220 to 260, and there's no further change that could be expected. I mean, it's saying 260 to 280 that further could change right. I would choose this side according to potentially use this further shift. Yeah.
After we see the start of the next group on the right side, so it's also something you have to realize.
Ah, okay.
You don't want to get stuck on that right side under the underfleet.
Yeah.
So it's
Yes,
it looks like he's going to the left mark because he's jibing already.
Yeah, it's coming
Yeah,
down to the mark. Yeah.
Coming back to last race, to the last qualification race, Piotr took the right mark, and the Dominator.
No, he took Piotr took the same mark as the Norwegian guy now, and the Dominator the other one.
The other one.
The right
Yeah.
one, yeah. And
Yeah.
the Dominator took the left one. Yeah.
So let's see what the others are doing now.
Yeah. But you can't draw any parallels between this race and
because
No.
the wind shift, it's
Okay.
it's quite hard.
So now we have
But we
the
see
Turkish sailor.
Turkish
so-
guy 2102.
when I see the angle of the
Or
Turkish
5.
guy coming out of that gate, I think Ufo took the right decision.
Yeah.
And also you can see that most of the fleet is going same way as him. So as rounding the mark first, when you see that most of the fleet is following you feel confident.
You did the right choice. You made the right choice. Okay, we are in qualification race number 7 for tomorrow's and Sunday's final races.
Piotr
Uffe
is,
Thomasgaard.
and Dimitros took the other one.
And Piotr is doing a second good race, so it's probably one of the lighter sailor that was in survival mode yesterday
Yeah.
and the first day, and now he's able to show what he's able to do.
Yeah, you see, he's back on
Dimitros
fourth.
took also the left mark, so he choose another, like in the previous race.
Yeah. That's right, and here we are
And now
again with Uffe Thomasgaard.
He tacked to get himself back again between the mark and the rest of the fleet. But the difference between him and Prut is that he waited before all the boat pass. So he's now crossing the downwind line, but without any boat.
Yeah, and he has open water. So
3737 hat gekringelt.
There was a penalty turn by Finland 373. We just hear from our director.
probably touched the mark.
Yeah, maybe too close. Yeah, Dirk, just explain to our viewers. It is not allowed to touch the mark.
And I mean, in order to be freed of any protest in this regards. Maybe he or the sailor in this case choose to make a penalty turn, and in this case he's clear. But we haven't seen it, so therefore it's just guessing what might have happened. In this format, we have no on-water judging. That means we have.
Wir kommen zum Griechen 8661 mal.
And let's see. So here we have the leading sailor.
Dimitrios Papadimitriou.
He is clearly in the lead after the races till yesterday, and he, I think, with his third place in the first race, he's maintained his position. Currently, he is 12th, 11th,
11th,
10th.
yeah.
So
Changed a little bit. But
It's very close.
Of course, he is the dominating guy in this regatta here in Kiel, and we will see him probably in the final on Sunday. So he puts on an excellent performance, and we talked about him all the way through, what makes this guy so special even at that young age.
But what might be interesting is that Guido Gallinaro, Italian sailor who was second overall this morning, is in the Blue Fleet, so we can't see it on TV. But if he sailed, if he did a great day like he had the first day, he might even have passed Papadimitriou. Except of course if Papadimitriou is able to get back in that top 3 that he likes so much. I'm impressed by Ufer right now again. He controls the fleet completely. He has he's controlling left and right at the same time. You know what he did. I'm pretty happy to see that Christian Spotberg is in second place. He was the little guy I was talking about earlier that gave everything yesterday. So it warms my heart to see it having a good race.
Yeah, but just to explain for the spectators, Uwe was 8th after the first 5 races, including, let's say, the 3 days until yesterday. And so therefore he's, and he had also a win in the 4th qualification race. So therefore he's also very experienced and maybe not as stable as a Greek sailor, but overall he's also in the top 10, a good candidate.
Yeah, he will stay in top 10 today for sure. He might even be able to jump in top 5 with this win.
There he is.
When I was looking the zoom out pictures, I had the impression that the right side was gaining a lot. That is not good at all for the Greek sailor who chose to stay more on the left side. And of course, sailing, everything can change anyway, anytime. But I hope for the Greek sailor that a left shift come save him.
It's just incredible that Laser single-handed one design dinghy is the most sailed boat class in the world. What does this boat make so favorite that so many people sail that dinghy?
I mean, what is very important to compare to a Nacra or whatever is the investment that you have to make to buy a boat. As there are so many boats out, you can even start with a second-hand boat, etc. And especially for the boats in smaller countries, etc., for developing countries, etc., this is a very good starting boat, and this makes this boat so popular.
Okay.
And Kevin also explained that it's quite easy, whatever it means, yeah. And here it's I think something that really helps. Again, I'm already in this kind of Olympic spirit to raise the Olympic idea, to have this career path from the junior boats that we see here in World Championships on the water, but also towards the Olympic Games, etc.
Okay. Yeah, that's good to know.
The wind is picking up, so we see a few heavier sailors who are able to get back in front. I think the Bulgarian guy is.
Yeah, there he is.
He did a quite nice comeback on the right side.
But Uwe maintained
Yeah,
his lead.
Uwe is right now. We can see he's basically in front of everyone. You can draw a triangle behind him, so he's controlling all the fleet. He's going towards the mark. He will run first without a problem.
Yeah.
Then he's in the easy position. That's the first place you want to have. Everyone under you. No chance of big shifts today. So he has to do one good downwind and then he's first.
Okay. Yeah, beautiful pictures here. Pictures from our 3D animation when they come up on the outer loop.
And we
to the
see
upwind mark.
And this race now is much more balanced compared to the previous race.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So I think, I mean, at the moment a clear leader, but second to 10th place is still open.
Yeah, but look, Piet Hein Kraan is also coming in on second place right now. Well, they were back with the leading guy from Norway, Uffe Thomasgaard. Well,
Uffe Fresseeis.
and if we have a look at the leaderboard and the knots, you see the knots on the right-hand side, 4.1, 4.7, 3.8. This just gives you a slight impression what's going on out there. Uffe Thomasgaard on place number 1. In the qualification race number 7, we show you the yellow fleet. Piet Hein Kraan from the Netherlands, and number 3 on place number 3 is Christian Spotsberg. Followed by a Spanish guy, Marcelo Cairo. We are on the last downwind on the upper loop, and we're close to the
Upwind with the last upwind. We're close to the upwind mark.
upwind mark. You have to have a last downwind and then a short reach and an upwind finish here in Kiel.
And I'm scared that Papadimitriou didn't get that little left shift that will be able to push him in the front.
The one that actually you promised, you wished him.
Yeah. And I know as a sailor, it chose the left side. We can't say it's a bad decision because it's quite shifty today.
And there's the upwind mark.
And well, you have to stay on that side. If you cross the fleet, you're killing yourself. And of course, you hope till the last moment that there's the little shift that will bring you back in the front.
Okay, so now we see the results that we see in the leaderboard physically at the mark. Uffe in the lead, very closely followed by Piet Hein.
Yeah.
Oh, it's in Turkey.
No, it's a Turkish guy.
Uh,
Okay, where's
Turkish guy.
is not on the leaderboard.
Turkey 1281.
Okay.
There is our Bulgarian friend, Bulgaria 4857.
Okay, this now brings
It's a
a
little
little
bit
bit challenge in the
confusing,
game
yeah.
because somehow there's a problem with the tracking on the Turkish boat because it's not appearing on the tracking.
Maybe he lost his tracker yesterday.
Lost or is broken or whatever.
Whatever, yeah.
Yeah, this is a good example where the technology has some limitations. So it's in this way not reliable. Imagine you would go for OCS based on tracking information and the tracker is not working. So
Yeah.
so you still need the visual control. And the second point is what we can also see
Und Türkei.
in many regattas is that bring your own device. I mean, the best tracking device everybody has carried with them is the smartphone. So,
Yeah.
but how to make sure that everybody has recharged it to the maximum, etc., so that you can really, I mean, we talk
Der
about
Türke hat den
races,
Trecker verloren.
shows about races almost 3 hours on the water to make sure that the mobile phone is still there. So it's challenging. So we just learned that the Turkish sailor has lost his tracking device, so therefore he's appearing as a stealth sailor on the 3D animation here.
But-
He's, as we see here currently on the real picture, very close to Uffe, and will be a tight final on the downwind.
It's Rasim Yazar, Turkey 1281.
And he was 16 this morning, and I saw him this morning because he was disqualified in the first race, so he actually sailed pretty well.
Yeah.
We didn't see him in the first race, but this pushed him against in the front. And it's the sailors that you have to pay attention to because they are not at the top of the leaderboard because they make a mistake in the beginning, like a disqualification or maybe an early start. But when after a few races, you can discard a race.
Yeah.
And when this discard comes, you have some people that made you jump. He might make one because he still have 16 counting, what probably for him not good. And he seems like he's passing our friend Uffe.
Yeah, he just passed him. That's
Yeah.
right.
And what Uffe just did, completely put the dagger board up. Is
Yeah.
showing his stress actually. If he feels slow, so you think maybe he has seaweed in his dagger board. It's something that can completely kill you. So it's a quick check to put it up, but it also shows that he's not comfortable at all. If you don't want to feel slow in a boat, because then you think again twice on your decision. You start stressing a lot. You look behind and you see everybody coming back, and maybe you work a little less because you're too stressed and you're even slower. So I hope he will be able to stay focused and give us a nice battle in the last reach and last little upwind.
Yes. So we don't see it, but we saw it in the picture. We don't see it in the live leaderboard. Rasim Yassar just took the lead, and this young guy here, Uffe Thomasgaard, is in second place. We don't see that on the leaderboard because the young guy from Turkey, he lost his tracking device, or it's broken. But nice pictures from those rivals here on the water. So just tell us about something about the main sheet is so loosened up, it's so eased up. Is that to get the main wind in and to...
Yeah, you because the wind is coming from behind, you want to put your sail as open as possible so it catch all the wind. And also you want to work on the waves, so that's why Uffe, we can see, is pulling his main sheet in and out every time he goes up and down. It looks like his confidence is a bit back up. He's working hard, catching a bit of distance on the Turkish guy.
Yeah. Rasim was 32nd in the first race.
Okay.
I just looked it up I mean, still might change due to protests, etc., but this was the previous result. And the tracking was working, so therefore something happened to his device.
So a lot of boats here from other fleets. You see that we have the red fleet in the back on that little ribbon up on the post.
Yeah.
But we show you Rasim Yassar from the yellow fleet.
And they are just in the starting procedure?
Absolutely.
Or,
I'm quite surprised to see that the dagger board of Yassim is pretty low.
Yeah.
We talked about him, and here downwind, it's clearly you don't need that much. It's maybe a little mistake that might give Uffe the chance to come back.
yeah, but it could be also working against the waves because might stabilize them a little. But it's close. It's very close. And here we come to the gate, which is...
Yeah, the leeward gate.
And now it goes to the final.
Going a short reach and then up wind again to the upwind finish.
It might be interesting to see maybe how far the fleet is behind.
Yeah, we could have a
Because,
look at the
If
3D graphic, maybe.
If they are 1 and 2 in front, the last upwind will be just a one-on-one battle.
Yeah, it could be very close, like the last race.
A bit of a match race.
The wind is picking up even more.
Oh, look at that. Accelerating pretty nice. Beautiful pictures. Good speed here.
The
Wow.
question is, is there any wind change that comes along the acceleration?
So he picks up the pace and has some good speed here.
He's
Rasim Yazar.
working nicely on the wave to not hit the wave at the front. Like keep the nose up to be able to fly over them.
So well done by the Turkish and the Norwegian guys so far.
Yeah.
Yeah, for both of them, I think it's
Yeah.
it's again he's still slow.
Yeah.
Razim is probably pulling away, but still a second place. He will rage about it because he was again like period first so long, just took down at the last moment. But it's a good race from him. He didn't. For me, what I saw, of course we didn't see how Razim did his comeback, but he did a great race controlling the fleet.
Yeah.
But now looks maybe it's an angle of the camera, but as the third and fourth are catching a moment too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right at the back was the...
Oh no,
No,
it's
it's
okay.
I mean, we do not see the Turkish, so therefore we have always to have him in mind. But he maintains the lead, followed by the Norwegian.
Yeah, the
And
last...
then they have the Bulgarian coming.
Yeah. Tenikadiev is in place number 3 right now, and we are on the upwind finish.
But there is a big battle between 3 and 4.
Yeah.
They went pretty high on the ridge, fighting for that favorite spot to round the mark because the inside boat has priority on the mark. And now he'll tag back, I think. Yeah, he tags back. He doesn't want to leave space to the Norwegian. He's first. He wants to stay between him and the finish. 3 and 4 are pretty far behind, so he has no risk of losing them.
Yeah, you see the jury boat. It's always close.
Of course, that's the moment when
Yep.
the sailors might start pumping due to stress. Sometimes also because due to stress you might do body movements that makes your boat pump, or just to have this little edge to pass gain a few meters and pass that boat.
Yeah, and Yasir Rasim Yazar, that's the right name. He is
Yes.
crossing the finish line.
Yeah, he will.
No.
It's
Ah.
a first. We can
Yeah,
see
Yeah, he's the first one.
if not
No.
not so happy about it behind.
And yeah, this means the Norwegian guy here in the picture, Uffe Thomasgaard, is in second place.
Türkei hat gewonnen.
Yeah, so it's official. Rasim Yazar, the guy who came from behind, nobody had him on the list, suddenly passed Uffe Thomasgaard and is the winner of this qualification race number 7.
Unfortunately, we saw him. We haven't seen him because of the tracking device, so we're not sure
Yeah.
when he came close. Suddenly he appeared on screen, but of course he maintained to do so the whole race.
Turkey wins. Turkey wins.
Yeah, here we got him. Congratulations, Rasim
The
Yazar.
tracking device is in the mast, but
Still there, yeah.
Yeah, but it looks like it's no longer working.
Yeah. So,
Okay, yeah, another challenging race. Let's see who became third and fourth. This was another battle.
And it's also the first race that our friend Dimitrios was not completely at the front, so it might be interesting to for the rest of the championship bring them closer together. No clear winner from too early on in the regatta.
But of course, this race could be the discard.
Oh,
for
it
him.
will be for sure his discard, I think. But it puts that little bit more pressure for the gold fleet.
Yeah.
yeah, and we were the Turkish guy. This was our last race for today, the last qualification race. The winner of this race number 7, Rasim Yazar. And here are his opponents, if I'm not mistaken. This was the Switzerland, the guy from Switzerland, Nikolai Davies.
Yeah, we have not yet seen the leaderboard.
Yeah.
Let's wait for the results overall.
Yeah, the wind straightens up a little bit out there, here in the Kieler Förde. And yeah, some attractive racing with the winner Yazar and the second place from Thomas Gard. So yeah, this brings us on to the final races on Saturday and Sunday. So what, Dirk, what is the weather going to be like, and what are we going to see on Saturday, tomorrow?
Let me just look what was the prognosis this morning. So we still have a weather that is quite comparable to the weather today. And we might see some showers, which we haven't seen today, and but we also have sunshine. So it's changing conditions, sunshine coming out, big clouds, etc. So there's a tendency of some wind shifts. The wind further changed to northwesterly winds, which is 270, 300 degree, and 13 to 17 knots with some dust
Leaderboard.
up to 25. So therefore,
Haben wir nicht,
it's
gibt's nicht.
another good sailing day ahead of us, and
Die ersten drei, okay.
we're happy to see the sailors in the Gold Fleet tomorrow.
What's nice from the Gold Fleet tomorrow is no more hiding. It's only the best. You do a mistake, you're gonna feel it, because it's basically 4 times harder than what we see today. And every race will be even more important. If you get a win today, well, 3 other guys also got a win at the same race that you, because there are 4 fleet. Tomorrow, if you get a win, you get a win on top of everyone. So I'm really impatient to see how it will go tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow we show you the final of the girls. So
Yeah.
Julia Büsselberg, a very talented German sailor. Ever heard about her?
No, I'm sorry.
She was dominating pretty much this fleet this weekend. Yeah, as I hear, we unfortunately don't have the leaderboard, but we say thank you to everybody today. We had some good sailing here in Kiel, and a good first place from Razim Yazar, and second place, he led the race for quite a long time, Uffe Thomasgaard. And I would say thank you very much, Dirk. Thank you very much for joining. It was good to have you in the studio.
See you tomorrow.
Wir kommen ins Studio.
Yeah, and
Im Studio.
also thank you very much to you, Kevin.
My pleasure, my pleasure.
Yeah, great talking to you. So just have us, let's look at tomorrow when the young ladies are going to be on the water. We just talked about the weather. So what are we going to see?
I mean, if the wind comes as strong as the prognosis shows, then for the ladies or the girls, better to say, it will be a tough day ahead. But I think we will see some good racing. They are all very experienced as well. This was something that everybody took away from the last days. So with this, yeah, looking forward to have another good day. I mean, the day is not over for sailors. Only the focus for our show today is over. They will continue with some races, not in this group, the yellow fleet that we saw, but in the other fleets. For maybe another 2 hours, they still need to bring everybody in. And let's see what will happen tomorrow.
Okay, so check us out in the internet, ladies and gentlemen. Have a close look at the leaderboards. We will be back for you tomorrow. Thank you once again for all. And tomorrow, as I said, 11 o'clock, we are back here on the air with the young girls, with the girls and in the 4.7 Laser World Championship. And from the German side, we will see Julia Büsselberg, and we will see what the German local dominator, I would say, will bring on the table tomorrow. So thank you very much for watching, and we see you tomorrow at 11 o'clock. Thanks, and bye-bye.